Champlain College, the object of my misery and my future success. There's just something about the college that sets people on fire. The students here are enraged by the institution, by the people in the community. UVM students loathe our community presence. I'm sure whenever they see a Champlain College listing on a person's Tinder profile, it's an immediate rejection. This is a semi deep dive into the cynicism of the Champlain community. How did we become so cynical? Who's to blame? How do we come back? Can we come back? Let's start with some basic information about the college. Champlain College is a private institution that's been open since 1878. In the past, the institution is said to have been an all boys business college, providing students an innovative, career oriented education. The school's website refutes the claim of it once being an all boys college, stating, "The college admitted female students from the time of its establishment in 1878." I feel as though the need to state that may mean the institution itself is aware that many believe otherwise. Champlain prides itself on its core values of distinct excellence, sustainability, innovation, human touch, global engagement, and diversity and inclusion. This is seen around campus as well through many forms of signage. Not many students know about these signs, despite them being on display for anyone to look at. The college is still a private institution that has approximately 2,000 undergraduate students. This fall semester, the school welcomed 600 new first year students, including transfer students and freshmen. This class size is almost double what the college typically accepts for each incoming class. This has been a huge issue for upperclassmen to grasp, as well as the student affair employees to manage. How do I know this? What's special about me, and why do I get to tell this story? I'm a third year student who is a very active member of many clubs on campus. One particular club revolves around planning campus wide events and activities for the student body. I also run my own club, which gives me perspective to the ongoings of my club members. What plagues them on a day to day basis? Is it me? Maybe. A vital part to understanding a community, how it functions, and what it practices is to conduct research through participation. I have become fully entrenched in the Champlain community from simply being a student and living in Burlington. Outside of my day to day practices, I also work two campus jobs. One as a student ambassador, and the other as a graphic design intern in the school's marketing department. As a student ambassador, I frequently interact with the current students and prospective students. This gives me the opportunity to educate and reflect on the community and people involved. What's working, what's not. As an intern in the marketing department, I'm always in the loop about what projects the college is working on to engage better with the students or to promote the college to prospective students. This position has allowed me to view the college as more of a business. The business lens makes it all too apparent that the connection between marketing and the community is almost non existent. When I was hired to be a design intern during spring 2022, my boss at the time, Michael Versalis, was shocked to hear how involved I am on campus. He had just come out of the woodwork being 10 years of being a freelance designer, therefore not tied to one institution. He leaned on me for the authentic on campus community perspective my design work could carry, since Lakeside Campus, where the marketing department is located, is so unnervingly detached. This is where the cracks started to form for me. At the same time, a chord had been struck in the greater Burlington area. UVM students rallied on a regular basis for their administration to acknowledge the rampant number of sexual assault cases on their campus. An article from VPR reports that about 2,000 students left class in protest of the way the university addressed sexual assault allegations on campus. Students claimed that UVM, quote, hides rapes, blames survivors, and covers for their athletes. This brought to light how poorly the Title IX office was handling the ongoing and frequent reports. The article describes how UVM handles their Title IX related reports. Quote, there are several reporting options for students who have been assaulted. A criminal investigation by UVM Police Services or the Burlington Police Department, an internal resolution through the Title IX office, both of those options, or neither. A student who goes through the Title IX office can pursue a formal resolution which can lead to a hearing and an alleged perpetrator potentially being expelled from UVM. There's also an informal option where both students work with a mediator to come up with a resolution. End quote. Since UVM is a public institution, they are federally funded, which means they follow federal Title IX guidelines. These are notoriously difficult to navigate and do almost nothing for victims. This, with the ineptitude of their Title IX office, sparked fury in the community. It didn't take long for that to move into the Champlain community. Many Champlain students are integrated into the UVM community through common interests and simply being next door neighbors. Whether the two communities get along, this is an issue anyone affected by it would immediately jump onto. Activists from Champlain were now actively calling out our school's Title IX office. After months and months of rumors about Mr. Multiple Title IXs, who has made a name for himself by making most people uncomfortable through staring and evidently sexually assaulting a member of the community the semester COVID hit, students had enough. More cracks began to form. It was apparent to the students that something was being mishandled in our small community. Students shouldn't feel unsafe in a place that was advertised as one of the safest college towns in the country. The student body conducted a walkout of our own in solidarity with the UVM students as well as the survivors on our own campus. This provided a forum for students to not only voice their troubles with how the college is addressing Title IX allegations, but a safe space for students to share their stories and find others who can relate. A wonderful sense of community was being built from our misery, a sense of place. In class, we learned that place evokes a sense of belonging, security, familiarity, and comfort. We can make this place our own, growing into it and expanding the community with us. A natural occurrence that is tied into the theme of place and belonging is the theme of outgrowing it. College is a temporary place for most. Students come in and take advantage of its resources. It's a stepping stone. Champlain fails to be a productive stepping stone for many due to the frail connection between both the business and personal ends. So when the college makes it so hard to make this place our own through this strain, how can this natural progression happen? Students are noticing this as well. The many, finding the walkout to have been a good community building outlet, are now flocking to an infamous Instagram page by the name of champlain.igim. This account is self-described as the voice of the people, sharing anonymous posts submitted by students complaining and airing out their grievances towards organizations on campus. This account has been frequently criticized for being too cynical, some calling the posts unnecessarily inflammatory. One post titled, "I was catfished by Champlain," says, quote, "They tell you that the dorms are mansions, and then I got put in South House, which is blocks away from the closest blue light system on campus. It's literally a dirty, smelly, small house divided into small rooms used as dorms, not to mention the cafeteria situation." End quote. This issue is larger than making the college a place to, quote, own for students. While students are creating their own communities through typical means and through channels of anger, they are not productive. Currently, the school is watching communities like this to better understand what the student body is saying and how they are feeling. There's currently no public plan to address this issue. For now, it will be a waiting game. Thank you for listening.